Some other things you might not know about your camera when you first pull it out on the box is the status LED on the front of the Osmo. If that light is set to green, this means that the camera is ready to use and you can record or take photos. If that light is off, it means you're actively taking a photo or the camera is not ready to use, like perhaps there's no SD card inside of the camera, so you couldn't record or take a photo. If the light is blinking red, this means you are recording a video actively, and if it blinks red 3 times really quickly, this means the Pocket 3 is about to die or is powering off. Now, if you do decide to purchase the Creator Combo Pack, it will come with a DJI Mic 2, and a cool thing about the case that comes with the Pocket 3 is that there actually is a little slot up top to store the DJI Mic 2. A lot of people don't know this. That's a great location to keep your DJI Mic 2 so you always have the camera and the microphone paired together. Now, this tip is one of the most common frustrations that I see with users, which is they don't know why sometimes when they use the joystick and they push the joystick up or down, it zooms sometimes, and then sometimes it tilts up or down, and they can't figure out why this is. Well, there's a little button on the back of the screen right here on the very right side, and when you click this button, it changes the joystick functionality from tilting up or down to the zoom functionality. So sometimes you just accidentally click this button and then it'll enter zoom mode versus tilt mode, and you want one or the other. So just click that button, and if you do see a numerical value right there, that means that your camera is in tilt mode right now, and then you can use that button on the screen to zoom in and out. Now, if you just tap that button one more time, the numerical value will go away, which means it's shifted that functionality to the joystick function. So now the joystick is what's creating that zoom in and out function. I know a lot of people struggle to figure out why their Pocket 3 was doing that, and it's actually a really simple fix. Now, there's some really cool audio functionality with the Pocket 3, starting with my favorite audio feature, which is you can use any sort of USB-C audio interface with the Pocket 3. This is including but not limited to USB shotgun microphones and even audio interfaces. So one of my favorite ways to use this is to plug in my Rodecaster Pro via the USB-C output on the back of the Rodecaster and plug that directly into the Pocket 3. And now I'm able to use high quality podcast microphones as my audio source with my Pocket 3. This works with all sorts of USB-C microphones, or you can even purchase some adapters like this 3.5 to USB-C adapter to plug in more traditional 3.5 millimeter microphone devices. Now, we already mentioned the DJI Mic 2 system, and this is such a high quality microphone that seamlessly pairs with the built-in audio receiver that the Pocket 3 has. So these pair together super easily and conveniently, and if you do purchase the combo pack, you will get a DJI Mic 2 system, which I think is a great audio solution for this camera. So even though this camera can receive USB audio interfaces and wireless audio signals from the DJI Mic 2, the physical microphones that are built into this camera are actually really good as well. This camera comes with 3 internal microphones, 2 on the sides and 1 on the rear, and this creates an omnidirectional audio recording experience. And honestly, this is one of the best internal microphones that I've ever heard on a camera system. The audio is totally usable right out of the box just by using the internal microphones. Now, let's say you're recording a file and you're using the DJI Mic 2 as your main audio source, and you're sending that audio signal to the Pocket 3. But what if you also want to record a backup audio source by leveraging the internal microphone on the Pocket 3? Well, I have good news. You can actually do this, and it's a really cool feature. So if you swipe down from the menu and dive into your settings, look for the built-in mic audio backup and turn this on. And what this is going to do is save a backup audio file to the SD card in case anything happens to your DJI Mic 2 audio. And it's also just a really cool way to get 2 different audio sources, especially if you have subjects that are further away from each other and you want to record audio from 2 different locations. So I mentioned that the Pocket 3 records an omnidirectional audio signal, which means it's trying to record audio from every direction. But there are instances in which you might not want to do that, especially if you have a noisy environment in front of you and you're just wanting to record your own audio behind the camera. So you can actually enable directional audio. And if you want to do this, you can go into your settings. So swipe in from the right side of the screen and then press the microphone settings. And then you can change your audio direction from all and change it to either front or front and back. So this is going to give you a little bit more of a directional audio sound and be a little bit more specialized to the person you're trying to record audio from. Now let's talk about a few settings to get better color exposure and style out of your Pocket 3. The first being we want to enable Pro mode, which is going to give us more access to some advanced features for getting better color out of the camera. So all you need to do is swipe in from the right side of the screen and click the Pro button there at the top, and that will enable Pro mode. And now you have a lot more access to better settings options. Now, most of the time I actually keep the camera set to auto exposure because this camera does a really good job at exposing properly, but I've noticed that in some circumstances it actually slightly overexposes the image when I'd prefer it to be a little bit darker. And what you can do here is keep it on auto exposure, but dial in what's called exposure compensation to compensate for the fact that this camera often overexposes just a little bit. So all you have to do